Still Tildens speaking. One day I was practicing for a tournament. Outside of a court came a youngster, stopped to watch. His name? That doesn't make any difference. You're just a typical American kid. Picked up one of my rackets, took a swing at it, and then stopped to look at it. I was serving. I saw him. Came over. Do you like tennis? I don't know. You like to play? I don't know. What are you doing? I'm practicing. Gee, do you still have to practice? Well, I got to practice all the time in this game. Would you like to hit a few with me? Sure. All right. You go on over there. I'll hit a couple to you. So he went out on his side of the court. I hit a couple of balls to him. The first he took a wave at and missed. The second he managed to hit right. Wait a minute, son. What do you think you're using anyway, an axe? It's a tennis racket. You know why you missed that first shot? It's because you didn't look at it. The first rule and fundamental of tennis is keep your eye on the ball. Look at my eyes. They're never off it. Now you try it. He did. Very well, too. Then I showed him something else. I call it racket. Getting used to a racket. Just bouncing the ball back and forth. He did that pretty well. So then I asked him, how did you hit the ball? He took a wave at it with a racket like a club. Wait a minute. Shake hands with me. So then I just took my hand away and I put the racket in and let him shake hands with the racket. See the palm of the hand against the flat side of the racket handle at the back and the straight line of the arm, hand, racket handle, and racket head and the short strings up and down? That's the back view of the Eastern drive grip. There's the front view. So now, how about the stroke? Well, you face the net to weight the ball, and as it comes to you, you step across with the left foot to the right for a forehand drive, dropping the racket head behind you, and then swinging it through waist high at the very end of your swing. Take a look at those legs. He steps over to it. But if he has to get away from it, it's too close, he steps back with the right foot. Now he's in position, stepping across and swinging right straight through to the end of his swing. I told him I'd show him a few forehand drives if I could. I had to get away from that one, so I stepped back with my right foot. Here I have to reach for one, so I step across with my left foot. The side view shows the same thing. Well, he came in and hit a few. He had to get away from that one, so he stepped back. The side view shows him step into the ball. Here's a nice shot. He steps way over, the racket down, his eye on the ball, and a long follow through. The side view shows him get away from one. And then he reaches way over. So having learned a little about the forehand, we swapped a few shots. I made a bit of a mistake to put one on his backhand. He had to stab at it. Wait a minute, son. Take it easy. I'll be right there. I'll show you something about this backhand now. You know, you can't hit a backhand with a forehand grip, because if you did, you'd be hitting against the back of your hand and you wouldn't have any swing. So I took him over and showed him the backhand grip. In the forehand drive grip, which is behind the racket handle, you turn the hand back a quarter circle until the palm of the hand is on top of the racket handle. Here again, you have the straight line of the arm, hand, racket handle, and racket head. There's the front view of the grip. Here's your back view, and you notice how the thumb is diagonally across the racket handle, not up the back. So I made him stand facing the net for the first backhand shot. Then he steps over as the ball comes with that right foot. The racket drops back. It comes out and meets the ball at a point, at least on a line with the right hip, and travels directly through to the very end of his swing. I'll hit a few for you. You can see the right foot go out for the ball. I didn't like that too well. My racket was pretty high. In slow motion, you get the foot position perfectly. See the racket drop below the ball and carry through. Here's a wide one. I step way over. Here's the slow motion picture of the same shot, and again my racket head was a little too high. The racket head's lower. That's a better shot. So now I have him some. Foot over, the low racket head. Notice how quiet the body is at the moment the ball is struck. So having learned that, we start and hit a few backhand shots backward and forward. A nice shot. He took his time. Perfect foot position. And as he finished his last shot, I came over and said, now I'm going to show you how this game really starts. That's the slice service. You take a position sideways to the net, and it's based on throwing. I had him throw the ball across the net, and then I gave him his racket. Now, halfway between the forehand and the backhand grip, you place the hand and make an angle with the wrist between the arm, racket, and hand. You've just seen both the front and back views of this grip. Then I told him to throw as if he was going to send a racket across the net. And I gave him a ball and told him to toss it as high as he could comfortably reach to the right of his head. And then, when it was up there, throw the racket at it. Here's my slice service. You can see the ball goes up to the right of my head. I toss it there as my racket comes up. The side view shows that very clearly. I toss the ball just as high as I'm going to hit it. From the rear, you get the perfect picture of the ball coming up on the right and the racket following it and traveling from the right to the left across the body. The slow motion service shows very clearly how the racket travels directly for the court and ends on the left of the body. Now he came in and began to serve a few. His style's very nice. You can see him actually throw that racket around. From the side, you can see how high he reaches. I think in that case the toss was a little bit too high. In the rear view, you get the angle of the ball to the right of his head and the racket traveling across it toward the left. So having learned a forehand and a backhand and a service, he now has a chance to start to play a little. And we began to really play the game. I had him mixing his shots, forehand and backhand. He moved well. And finally I drove him wide. On that, we called it a day. Tildens speaking. One day I was practicing for the World Court Professional Championship, one of our public courts. It was quite a match. I was very anxious to win it. I was at match point, and we were getting into a very important rally. My opponent put a very beautiful shot over my head, which I had to chase all the way to the backstop, and I might get it back. And I was so interested in the point itself and what was going on that I didn't really look much around my surroundings, but he finally put up a rather short lob, which I killed and won the point. We shook hands and started off the court. I noticed a youngster that I'd been working with for some time. He was looking pretty low. "Hello, kid, what's the matter?" I said. Nothing." "Oh, I see. Got licked. I suppose it was your net game let you down, wasn't it?" "Yeah, I didn't know what to do with the net." "Well, it's partly my fault, son," I said. "You see, I've kept you so busy on fundamentals and learning the drives and service, I didn't teach you the net game. Come on, I'll take you out here now and show you a little something about it. You see, the net game is the attack in tennis. The grip is the same for the volley and the overhead. It's the same as service. You can see the angle between the arm and the hand. There's the front view of the grip. And this isn't changed between the forehand and the backhand, only adjusted. When you volley, you wait facing the net. When you reach for a ball to your right, you step across with the left foot. And when you reach across for a shot on the left, you step with the right foot. There's very little backswing and practically no follow-through on a volley, and it's hit with a stiff wrist. You hit it about 6 or 8 feet from the net. I told him I'd show him a little something about how to make the volley shot. So we started off with my forehand volley. If you notice, I have very little backswing and very little follow-through. Here's a shot as a worm might see it. As you see, I take practically no follow-through and block the ball as it comes to me with a flat racket face. One must remember in volleying that one of the most important things is to attempt to win your point quick, because it's the big attack in tennis. Notice on the backhand volley how wherever possible I turn sideways at all times. In the slow motion you can see how far forward I reach to meet the ball before it arrives to the body line. The backhand slow motion shows this very clearly. Now, son, let me see. Yes, right. You reach forward your 6 or 8 feet. You try out your grip. You step forward with the left foot. You step forward with the foot to the left. That's it. Back away from the ball with the right foot. Back away from the ball with the left on the left. Very good. Here's his forehand volley. Notice that foot come across and the short backswing. In slow motion you can see how the foot and the racket work as a unit. And it's blocked. He bends his knees for the low ones. Very good. And reaches forward, meeting the ball before it arrives at the body line. Now for his backhand, you can see a low shot. He beveled the racket slightly to get the elevation of the ball. Steps away from the ball on the left with the right foot. A nice block volley, although he came a little too far. He rallied back and forth, volleying the ball. He reached one. Take it easy, son. Now we'll learn something about the overhead smash. The overhead smash is modeled on the service. You watch the ball as it comes up in the air and you go back with your racket prepared. You hit it as high as you can comfortably reach and come forward. Now we'll do it together. Here comes the ball. Back. Look. Swing. Come forward again. That's it. Now I'll show you a little about the smash. You can see me go back sideways, hit the ball as high as I can reach and come right in again. I follow my shot right in. Here's the side view. Notice how I go back sideways. I'm a great believer in keeping at least 1 foot on the ground for the overhead smash. Too many players make the mistake of going completely off the ground and jumping and then hitting. By doing that, they're apt to lose the balance of their body and a little of their hitting power. 1 foot on the ground is much the safest way to hit it. In slow motion, you notice the eye right on the ball. I reach and hit it as high as I can comfortably reach, but still keeping my feet on the ground. Notice the long, clean swing. Oh, the boy's got a good overhead too. Back he goes and reaches. A very nice shot. Slow motion. Watch how he turns his eye on the ball. He let that one get a little bit low. Now on this stroke he goes back and up and reaches. A very good shot. He turns sideways, his eye on the ball. He reaches up and a very good shot. Now we've learned a little about the game. We're going to try it out. Here he is coming into the net behind his attacking shot. A good volley, deep. I put the ball up in the air and he pulls it short. After that one, I decided the time had come to show him the American twist service. For an American twist service, you take your position sideways to the net. The racket drops behind the head and back. The ball is tossed to the left of the head. The racket comes up from the left, meets it, travels over it, and out to the right of the body. It ends on the right of the body. This imparts a high trajectory to the service. The side view shows clearly how the racket comes out to the right. From behind, you see the racket travel behind the head and up and over the ball. You can actually see the ball lifted by the strings of the racket. Watch it. There is a wrist snap in the making of this service, which imparts the twist or kick. The side slow motion shows the racket ending far out here on the right. So the boy came in and tried a few. He too has learned to toss the ball to the left of the head and the racket come up behind the back. He has a tendency to swing a little bit too far around to his left. He doesn't end his swing quite far enough on the right. However, from behind you see clearly how the racket comes up and meets the ball, lifting it, and you can see the high bound when it hits. Watch this one. See the hop? So we played a point or two. This time I came into the net. I have him moving off to his backhand. He puts up a short lob. It's too short, and I win with a clean winner overhead. Now he is serving. He serves me wide to my forehand. I hit down the line, and he makes a very good volley, reaching. Watch him follow the ball back into the middle of the court. A very good volley. He is at the net and drops it short. By that shot, he shows the value of using a short volley. I serve, and in this point, you will notice we are trying to find a chance to come in. We're working from the baseline. I push him to the backhand. He makes a good shot, but I see my chance to come in and follow to the net. I have position. He puts up a short lob. My kill wins the point. It's game, set, and match. And with ground strokes and net play, you have the beginning of a tennis player.